Notorious, so notorious.
Cut the damn music. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that. Well, normally I'd say it's the engine Brock Gordon. However, a little bit different here. It's that Notorious BDG, the public enemy number one for all Chiefs fans in Kansas City, Missouri. And for not much longer are they going to be in Missouri. Hey, Chiefs fans, that's something that you got to remember. They are openly flirting with Kansas City. But, getting ahead of myself here. That's right, folks. It's myself, Brock Gordon. Normally you hear me with Tommy Haley or Maisie Shear, and this is normally the spot that Maisie Shear tells you the weirdest and wildest stories in the world today. However, she is not here. Instead, replaced by myself. As you might be wondering, oh, what's going on? We want Maisie. We want Tommy. We don't want you. Well, you're damn right you don't want me if you're a Chiefs fan. Because I'm not going to talk anything good about the Chiefs. I've been the realist the entire time this year for the Chiefs. I told you, hey, you're going to have the best shot of going to the Super Bowl, and you did. But again, discussion for another day. Instead, here on Notorious BDG, the podcast all about me, we're going to talk about the teams that I like. So stuff that we don't really get into on, big time talkers and such. We're going to talk about my favorite teams. That's right, my favorite teams. And as you can see by that handy-dandy logo right there, the starting five right there. Indianapolis Colts, Kansas City Royals, Phoenix Suns, Missouri Tigers, and the Nashville Predators. And we're going to get started on the hardwood. Because as of recording, the Phoenix Suns are 62-14 right now and have the top spot in the West locked up. Not to brag or anything. As I mentioned on BTT, I was wearing my jersey, wearing my shirt. The Phoenix Suns are in a... let's count them up here, shall we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-game win streak right now. Time of this going live, they will play the Grizzlies. And, 62-14, 9-game win streak. Easily atop of the Pacific Division and the West. It's really something when a team comes together the way that they are, and unfortunately, it looks like DeAndre Ayton will probably be leaving the team, which really, really sucks. But it is basketball. This is a business here in sports. As we look at the leaders for the Suns right now, no surprise in points per game, it's Devin Booker. DeAndre Ayton leading in rebounds, Chris Paul in assists, Chris Paul in steals, and blocks. It's JaVale McGee. The most underrated pickup of all of the NBA free agency last year. People laughed, people made fun of it. He's working out. He really is. He may only be, he may be averaging less points per game than Frank Kaminsky, but we don't need him to be spectacular. He's a role player. He's doing what he's supposed to do. Frank Kaminsky only played 9 games so far. That's all you need to do when you're 62-14. The season's almost over. And we'll be awaiting the poor souls that have to face off against us in the West. Which, as it currently sits, because of all the stupid play-in games, God, I hate playing the play-in games. That's, again, another story for another time, possibly for big-time talkers. Currently, the 8th seed is the Clippers, who don't have a winning record, would be the victims for the Phoenix Suns. But yeah, so that's what we're going to talk about there. That's the Suns all wrapped up right there. Now we're going to go over to the ice. Why are we going to go to the ice? Because I have a favorite team that plays hockey. And that team, ladies and gentlemen, is none other than the Nashville Predators, who, as we're recording, are on a 2-game win streak. They've recovered nicely. They are currently 4th in the Central Division, which is fine. It's fine. It's It's fine. It's still a playoff spot. We still have a playoff spot. 39, 24, and 4. As we look at the team leaders, points leader, it's Roman Yossi, 81 points. Goals, it's Philip Forsberg, who people wanted to be traded at the deadline to a contender. No. Assists, it's Roman Yossi. Roman Yossi for calling it. Roman Yossi for all the hardware. Penalty minutes, who cares? Plus and minus, it's Alexander Carrier. Because, yeah. Goaltending, no surprise who it is. It's Yossi Saros. He's only given about 2.5 goals a game. A 0.921 save percentage. The other night he stopped like 34 shots and let one go in. So he was 34 for 35 on saves, which is just insane. Yeah, the Predators are looking really good right now. They got a game coming up here. Loads very slowly. On Friday, so the day this comes out, at Buffalo. That should be another easy dub for the Predators right there. Buffalo is struggling immensely right now. And yeah, it's looking really positive right now for the Predators, as it really does look like they will be back in the playoffs yet again, as they're currently 4 points up on the Vegas Golden Knights, 5 up on the Stars, 6 up on the Jets, and 9 points up on the Canucks. So yeah, it looks like the Predators will be taking on the Calgary Flames in the first round of the playoffs. Not ideal, but, you know, the Preds will make do with what they can there, barring a collapse by the Blues, which I'm all for, by the way. The Blues just falling apart. That would be glorious. I would love that immensely, as that would be something incredible. Predators would then sneak into the third spot and play against the Minnesota Wild. Nobody's catching the Avalanche at all. Avalanche have 100 points. Next closest team has 86. So yeah, you're not catching the Avalanche right now in that Central Division. Eastern Conference, different thing. Don't really care about them. They're not really pertaining to us. Meanwhile, as of recording, we are a week away from opening day in baseball, and the Kansas City Royals have announced their opening day starter. And it is Zach Greinke. An interesting stat for you all right here. The Kansas City Royals from 2010 to 2022, which is the last time Zach Greinke started, to the first time Zach Greinke started, or the last time Zach Greinke started to his start coming up here, the Royals had 7 opening day pitchers in that 11-year span. I was able to remember all of them. Bruce Chen, Luke Hochevar, Edison Volquez, James Shields. By the way, this is not in order. James Shields, Danny Duffy, Brad Keller. There you are. Those are the ones. Yordano Ventura, and that's them. It's what it is, folks. It kind of sucks for the Royals. But that was who we've had as opening day starters. Especially having Bruce Chen as an opening day starter, which hey, Bruce Chen, if you're listening to this by some chance, what are you up to? Just out of curiosity, I would like to know what you're up to. Possibly for an interview. Maybe. It doesn't have to be, I'm not, we could just talk. I'd like to talk baseball with you. I know that you're working for the Dodgers. But yeah, I would like to know what you're up to. Also with that, speaking of the Royals, they kept an option and used an option to bring back Mike Matheny through 2023 as the manager of the Royals. I like it. I don't think the Royals need to be going through anything horrible right now when it comes to trying to find a manager. Not a lot available currently, so it's probably a smart decision to bring him back. at least for next year. So he does this year. Next year, we'll see. Go from there. This is very much the first year in a long time that as a Royals fan, I've been very excited for the season to start. And part of that is due to one man in particular who has captured the baseball world by storm somehow, being the number one prospect in all of baseball. His name is Bobby Witt Jr., the man who I have an autographed baseball of before he even was in AAA Omaha. When myself and Mr. Tommy Haley went up to Omaha to celebrate my birthday to go watch him, Nick Prado, and MJ Melendez in Omaha as the Storm Chasers took on the Toledo Mud Hens. And to stop and think about that one for a second and remind myself. As, yes, that's who they took on that night. Crazy. A lot of drunk guys behind us. But it was great to watch Bobby Witt Jr. in action. I have not revealed my hair in a while. I am trying to pull off the Bobby Witt Jr. hairstyle. That long, flowing hair out the back. Issue is my job's not too fond of that. They prefer a little bit more professional look. Kind of sucks. Oh well. It is what it is. Not a lot of news in the Colts front, nor in the Missouri Tigers front, which, other than just everyone leaving the basketball team with Dennis Green, I do believe he has basically just a few players left, and a few coming in on transfers. But beyond that, it's not looking too good for Mizzou basketball once again, so this is a rough start for Dennis Green. So I've mentioned this man's name on B-Card Entertainment, or on multiple B-Card Entertainment shows and such. And you'll hear him coming up in a trivia contest to see who will face me for my title. He is a very unique player. He is not a well-known player. He is my favorite player of all time, though. I, of course, am talking about John Buck. Now, you may be sitting there going, who? And I wouldn't blame you at all. Mr. John Buck played for the Kansas City Royals from the years 2004 until 2009. He is an all-star. I'll give you that. He was an all-star in 2010, not for the Royals, but for the Toronto Blue Jays. Why is he my favorite Royals player of all time? He was a solid player in a really dark time for the Royals. Career numbers right now, his WAR is 5.8, so that's wins above replacement. That is incredible, by the way. He had 844 hits, 134 home runs, and a career batting average of .234. He was a catcher, by the way. He got 491 RBIs, 6 stolen bases, again, as a catcher. 301 OBP, 398 slug, 698 OPS, and a OPS plus of 68. He was really good. I wouldn't say really good. He was good. And with those bad Royals teams that I grew up watching, he was pretty much the lone bright spot. Mark Gregzalanik, really, in those years. Martian, David DeJesus, Greinke eventually, of course. Hochevar. You know, I am the age of the Royals fan that I remember when the starting pitchers were like Gil Mesh and Brian Bannister and Bruce Chen and Luke Hochevar and Greinke. And there was another guy. Oh, I'm blanking on him right now. I can literally see him in my head. I don't know. But the relief pitchers were like Jeremy Afdel and a whole bunch of other just like nobodies. Except for Joaquim Soria. We had prime Joaquim Soria back then. But, like, you know, baby Gordo, baby Billy Butler. Just a lot of not great. Jose Guillen was brought in for the Royals during that time. Just a lot of not good. Like, I shouldn't say not good. It was a lot of not good. But, I don't know. I look back on those teams with fond memories for some reason. Just probably because how bad they were. But, you know, the starting catchers were like John Buck and then Jason Kendall, Brian Pena. Just a weird hodgepodge. Outfield was, like I mentioned, David DeJesus, Rick Ankiel, Jeff Francoeur. There are others. I'm just drawing a blank on their names. Or Jose Guillen, like I said. But there are others I'm just drawing a blank on because it's just... Part of it is I was too young. Other part of it is I tried to block it out of my head. I remember Alberto Callaspo very well. Do not know why. Probably because his name's really weird. And he played against the Royals in the 2014 playoff game in the wild card for the Oakland A's and got a hit. Yeah, it's just... I've been alive for a lot of bad Royals baseball. So have my parents. So is the majority of Royals fans. Not a lot of good Royals baseball. Not a lot of good. About 1991, that's when everything turned. 1991, 1993, somewhere in there. Royals baseball just tanked. Like, horribly. Yeah. So it just was not good for the Royals back then. I just hope for brighter days ahead as a Royals fan. Because that's really what we need right now. I just want hope. That's all I want from Bobby Witt Jr. and this current team. I just need hope. I don't expect you to go to the playoffs. I guess I should say that right now. My expectations for the Royals. I don't expect you to go to the playoffs. I just don't want to be embarrassed watching you. Me and, as I've mentioned on BTT all the time, me and Tommy go to Royals games like every home game on a Tuesday. My work schedule, I have it so I can still do that. I just want it to be watchable and I'm not in pain watching the team. And I'm not on my phone more than I'm watching the game itself. It's all I want from the Royals. And the lineup they're possibly trotting out this year, I just want you to be watchable. It's all I want from the Royals is just for them to be watchable. Watchable, I want to have pride in my team like I used to. Because, Lord knows, I don't have a lot of that. Some of these teams recently. You know, this is the possible line. So I'm going to read off a very possible opening day starting lineup for the Royals as soon as I can find it. Because I trotted one out a few weeks, or like earlier this week. Good Lord. Here it is. A very possible Royals starting lineup. Right field, Whit Merrifield. Fine with that, especially with who we have in the infield. Third base, Bobby Witt Jr. This is also in order of what they're batting. Catcher, Salvador Perez. Salvi's not... With what Salvi did last year, he's got the catcher spot locked up. There wasn't any threat really from Cam Gallagher or MJ Melendez. But, you know. Left field, Andrew Benintendi, who has been a marvelous replacement for Alex Gordon, who was retired. And I love me some Benny Biceps. Love it a lot. First base, Carlos Santana. I'd rather it was Nick Prado, but Santana has the big major league deal, so it's him. DH Hunter Dozier, ew. I'd rather it was Melendez, a catcher, and Salvi was DH, but again, Dozier has the contract. They're just trying to let him figure out what he's going to do. Shortstop is Alberto Mondesi. If he could stay healthy this year, I think the Royals will be fine. If he gets hurt, Whit can move down the Whit Merrifield can move to shortstop or to second base. Nikki Lopez can move to short. We could put Kyle Isbell or whoever in right. Center field, Michael A. Taylor won the Gold Glove last year. I'm actually really happy they re-signed him. I like Matt a lot. That's his initials altogether. Matt Michael A. Taylor. I really like him a lot. Like, a lot. I like Michael A. Taylor. He's probably one of the more underrated center fielders in all of baseball right now. And with the contract the Royals are getting for him, it's not bad. Second baseman, Nikki Lopez. Should have gotten a Gold Glove last year. He was robbed. He played incredible. Name another shortstop with a 300 batting average. Past year. Nikki is incredible. And the pitcher was Zach Greinke, which, as we know, is the opening day starter. Could this be the opening day lineup for the Royals? I hope so. I really, really do. It would make me so happy if it was. Because, as I said, I just want to have pride in my team again. I just want it to be watchable, and have pride, and for me not to be embarrassed. That's all I want. And for the last few years, it's been kind of hard as a Royals fan. I think does not really happen that often. That is all I have for this filler episode instead of CSP. Notorious BDG. Yes, that is a play on Notorious BIG. Yes. Yes, I am an idiot for that, I know. Public enemy number one for the Kansas City Chiefs fans, because they really dislike me for some of the things that I've said about their team this past year. Keeping it real, I'd just like to clear the air on that. I don't hope and wish ill upon the Chiefs for not doing anything or not doing good. I don't take joy in that. I take joy in watching Chiefs fans complain and moan and bitch online. That is hilarious. I love watching that. That gets me happy to watch, because just everyone is... Chiefs fans just... When Chiefs fans cry about the most mundane things, it's fantastic. That is... And I put quotations around Chiefs fans, because a lot of them aren't real Chiefs fans. They haven't been around for a while. They've been bandwagon fans, but we've been over that before, so... numerous times. But that is all I have from Notorious BDG. Make sure to tune in to Wayne this Monday. Tommy will have your recap for, frankly, an insane week in professional wrestling that it is. It's WrestleMania weekend and week, as they're down in Dallas for the 2-night WrestleMania. They also have NXT Stand and Deliver. Oh, and the devil, he may take ya. Favorite line from a Metallica song. NXT Stand and Deliver. There's a bunch of other shows going on this week, all over the place in WrestleMania weekend. And yeah, tune into We Are Not Entertained and Tommy's reaction to that. Pretty sure he's not going to do an episode of Superstars for that. Make sure to tune in if you like hearing my voice, but would like to hear me play off of somebody. Go tune in to Big Time Talkers. Available both here on YouTube and on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It's myself, Made Man Tommy Haley, and the email that listens to Screamo Maisie Shear. Also, we have an additional show that goes exclusively here on YouTube. It's called BTT Outspoken. This past week on BTT Outspoken, we talked about movies, animated and just of the regular variety. We talked about professional wrestling. We talked about video games, and I did a dramatic reading. So make sure to tune into that. It was something to behold this past week. But other than that, that's all I have for plugs and everything else. So until We Are Not Entertained, and I do believe that is We Are Not Entertained episode number 27, I bid you all adieu.